Hello, Boring Review Nation, Gabe,
Nick,
and we are here today to bring you another reaction straight off the presses. I'm gonna tell you right now why he's laughing, okay? So, Alice in Chains comes up, and I'm like, oh, the Funky Video people. He's like, what a way to describe the band. But not 5-10 minutes
Funky
before that,
Video people.
as we're getting ready to record, we're talking about, man, we got a conversation about Sean Penn. We love film as well.
The names you use.
And and I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, I wonder why he hasn't been in anything. I was like, I think it was because of that Chapo Guzman situation where Sean Penn was allegedly working with American authorities because he was doing a documentary with some Mexican reporter on El Chapo, and literally a day or two after they met with him, Chapo goes down, his location is found out. And I promise you, Nick's like, Chapo? Who's Chapo? I'm like, you don't know who Chapo Guzman is? And he's like, I thought you were talking about like a knife cutting company or whatever.
Knife company.
Nice Chapo. And I'm like, it's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, bro, watch some news. How do you know who Chapo Guzman is?
I stay away from the news like the plague.
The guy escaped like from multiple U.S. prisons and stuff. He was one of the biggest cartel bosses. And yeah, I don't even know if that documentary ever came out with that they were trying to do on him. But I'm not sure if that's why Sean Penn hasn't been in anything. In any event, okay, yeah, you can clown on me with Alice in Chains because I refer to like, isn't that the Funky Video, the weird video band?
The Beatles, Queen, Led Zeppelin, all these bands. Haven't I been very gracious and understanding? The one thing you know that I don't know, dude, watch some news. What's wrong with you? There are people, so many people in the comment section that they don't believe you at all. Always heard these songs. You live under a rock. There's a rock under a rock under a rock. There's no way you don't know this stuff. Listen.
First of all, people, let me tell you something. And people don't believe this, but I was born in the Caribbean. All right. And so English is my first language. I still came to the States when I was 8-9 years old or whatnot. Grew up in New York City. But you can go to New York City and where I grew up and play, do one of those games, $100 if you can name this tune, name the band or whatever. And if you're playing stuff like you play for me, whether it's a Beatles track, Queen's track, most people would be, unless it's like they've never heard that. Okay, it's a different. How would I say? And you got to also understand, music wasn't that accessible when I grew up. I'm an 80s child, right? So why has music become so accessible now? Because what are we doing right now? We're, boom, put it on YouTube, Internet. Let's listen. Yep. But before then, you know what I mean? Like, if you wanted to watch it, you're either catching it, listening to the radio, which, most people hate doing because of the commercials, or you're spending $12-14 because you might like a song
or you're watching MTV hoping that they play the video you want.
You know what I mean? Exactly. Or unless you were on TRL request. Bro, let me tell you something. I don't even think that was legit because...
Same 10 songs over and over.
Same 10 songs over and over again, but you're taking requests.
Now Backstreet Boys...
Stop that!
They would have a top 10 where Backstreet Boys had like 3 songs in the top 10. NSYNC had 2. Britney Spears had 2 or 3. And it's like...
Bro, I promise you...
Blink-182.
This is before the day of trolls or whatever, or bots. They had like all their cousins and family members on the phone. All right, now remember, call in. Are you serious right now?
Yeah, because TRL really cares about the bots. They're so dumb.
It was always the same 10 songs.
We're going to check this out. His first time listening to it. I'm not going to say I haven't heard it before because I've listened to all these songs apparently. I haven't been paying attention, but I can't tell you which one Nutshell is. If you like our reaction, please don't forget to
like and subscribe. In the comments, let us know what's more embarrassing. Me not knowing who Alice in Chains is or the song. Or Nick not knowing who Chapo Guzman is. Come on.
El Chapo.
How you don't know El Chapo? What's wrong with you?
All right, here we go.
Oh, acoustic.
That's just MTV Unplugged. All acoustic. Do you recognize just a guitar riff? Mm-mm. I definitely do. MTV Unplugged in the 90s was huge. People loved it.
I guess this is no weird video here, Cotton.
Chase misprinted lies. Face the path of time, and yet I fight this battle all alone. No one to cry to, no place to go home. Gift of selfish rage. Privacy is rage. And yet I find repeating in my head. If I can be mine, I feel better there.
His guitar says friends don't let friends get haircuts. That's hilarious. I know it's so
And yet I find.
Oh man,
Great song.
you know, I was not a fan of like the sad kind of, you know what I mean, ballad, I would guess you would say. But the last few songs you've given me that with the acoustics, man, have grown to me. Bro, I cannot stop listening to, I don't even know the name of the band.
Stained?
But Stained, is it Stained? Outside, bro. That's like my morning routine as I'm driving Aiden to school.
Makes me so happy.
And
Is he sick of the song?
I'm sure he's sick of the song. And I'm like, I think it's such a beautiful song, man.
It is.
And the acoustic guitar, I think the one thing about it is you gotta definitely have a great voice, because once you go just to the acoustics or whatever, your voice has to be able to, you know what I mean, to really become its own instrument, if that makes sense. And
Absolutely.
dude, again, man, I'm not sure. I don't think I've given any of the Alice in Chains and added it. But you got it, Alice in Chains. Added it, my friend. It's gonna go on there with my Stained. And I'm telling you, dude, like, I think it's such a beautiful, and I also I gotta find a quicker way of doing this, by the way.
Yeah,
but,
you do. You gotta put at the bottom with your main.
You know what? There you go. See, I already added that other Led Zeppelin one we talked about.
Let's go.
But go ahead while I add it.
So what you're saying is,
I've literally called him before after I've left. I'm like, bro, what's the name of that song too? I want to add it.
It makes me happy. It means you liked it. So what you're saying in a nutshell is you like nutshell. It's a great song. It is such a good song. And I don't know why it always gives me kind of like Crow vibes. I have no idea why. I don't think it was on the soundtrack. But it's just such...
Yes, The Crow.
Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
It's such a great song. And I'm sitting here like, why did I never get into this band? Because we've reacted to 3 different Alice in Chains songs. And I've really liked all of them. But always in the back of my mind, I was always kind of stuck up. My friend was just telling me that him and his kid went and saw them.
I can tell you why.
And I'm like, oh, I don't really like that band.
I can absolutely tell you why.
Why?
Because you are a little bit younger than me, but you still grew up from in the generation where you had to make strategic choices on what am I going to be a fan of, because these CDs are 14, 15 bucks, 16 bucks. And it was like, you cannot go out and buy an infinite number of CDs. My kids nowadays, it's so funny because they're like, oh, Dad, I'm a fan of that. And I'm a fan of this artist and that artist. And I like, Drake. And I like, Rihanna. And I'm even downloading old stuff. Yeah, because you go to your phone. We got the Apple Music. It's infinite. Boom. Like the song, I just added a song there. Paid no money for it. Back then, it was like, oh, I heard this song on the radio. When's it going to come on again after 36 commercials or whatever? So I'm going to have to go buy the tape or the CD. Tapes were $10, CDs were like 12, 13, 14 bucks.
A business decision, right?
So you make a business decision like, am I a Metallica fan or am I Alice in Chains fan? I'm gonna go with Metallica. That was probably your thinking. Bro, I remember as a young kid thinking to myself, all right, I like this rapper and I like this rapper. Yeah, I can afford $10 right now, so I'm gonna buy this tape. I haven't even heard their stuff, but I'm a fan of pick a band, Wu-Tang Clan, Eric B. and Rakim. Remember, people, 80s child, which means during the 90s, that's when my hip-hop was, for those hip-hop heads out there. So, you know what I mean? You would go with that, and I remember even thinking to myself, oh, that guy's garbage, or that team. Never haven't heard one of theirs, but then you want that validation, like, what I listen to is cool, so if I don't listen to it, it must not be cool. No, I'm just broke. I can't buy infinite music like kids these days, and I tell my kids this all the time. Yes, your experience is different from mine. Thank gosh there was no social media when I was a kid, because it's dumb stuff I would have been in trouble for. Listen. Just listen. Plus, like, even now, I go to bed and I know what curfew, my kids know what curfew is. Guess what? Their phones, my cameras. There's no way for you to get around curfew. We'll know if you broke curfew, even if I go to sleep. Man, I remember, sneaking out my house, doing the, kid and play or whatever, going to a party or getting back from a party late or whatever, praying, hopefully the old lady went to sleep. Oh, like you never missed curfew before. But now, my kids are like, man, it's like an electronic leash. Yes, their experience is so different, but at the same token, you want a video game. Think about even video games. They can rent them now, right? We didn't have that experience where, you could just play a demo of a game, download a demo of the game, see if you like them.
Video games, like you go to the video store all the time.
No. You had to go to the video store and pay for them. They literally go and get like a free download of the game, play like whatever. Oh, I like the game or not. I want to buy it. It's music, same thing. Like, it's so it exposes them to more is what I'm trying to say. And that's probably why, because again, nobody had infinite money or whatever. You go to old man, say, hey, I want to buy Nirvana. No, you would never say Nirvana, but let's say Metallica's new album. He hates Nirvana.
I don't hate Nirvana.
Guys, I'll say one time. All right, when I first we started talking about music, rock, I literally said, Smells Like Teen Spirit's the greatest rock time of all time. It's all I had been exposed to. And to be fair, it's still one of the most popular rock songs of all time. I just said they weren't the
best of all time.
And he crushed me for it. Absolutely crushed me for it.
At that time, how many rock bands do you know?
Nirvana.
Exactly.
Nirvana.
You're so stupid.
Okay.
So how can you say that's the best of all time when you literally listen to nothing else?
Going back to my point, all right? Have I heard every rapper? No, but growing up, my experience, if I paid for their music, it's the greatest of all time because it's what I could afford.
If the only rap artist I've ever heard in my entire life was Little Bow Wow before he became Bow Wow, and I sat here and said Little Bow Wow is the greatest rap artist of all time.
Friendship over!
Exactly.
Friendship over! Right,
I would never make that comics. I'd probably have to venture out.
Wow! I know you're not comparing Nirvana to Little Bow Wow, though.
What was that?
That was terrible.
What was that song, though? I think that was an Eminem song where he's like... Oh, no, it was Dr. Dre. I had to do it with 10 and 11-year-olds. He's like, what's the producer's name?
Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
Jermaine Dupri.
Jermaine Dupri. What? Anyways,
Oh man,
that's way off there. But let me just say one thing from what you said. Renting video games, Super Nintendo was awesome because you had to worry about scratching the disc. It would work a million times out of a million. We hope you liked our reaction to this one. Let us know what's been your favorite so far. What's one that we haven't reacted to yet. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
I was gonna say we know all things, but I'm gonna have to question that, bro.
We
You didn't know
nothing.
you didn't know who Chapo Guzman was. Out of control, out of bounds, right there, and you just talked about Little Bow Wow. That's the best example you could give me,
It's the best.
guys.
I knew I was going to say something that was going to tick you off.
I know all things.